Let's see if we can take 3 turns. I'm willing to keep this, because even something as bad as turn 3 Asika into turn 4 Sword of Body and Mind might be good enough. Ooh, Numbskull. If you can, in chat, get a export of the deck you want me to take a look at that is, like, Twitch export? Or, no, Arena export, so that I can import it and show it on screen. And then remind me after this game to actually do that. And I will happily take a look at that. We got our Folio Fancies, although that doesn't do anything. Karuga I like, because we get to go Asika into Karuga, and that's probably better than Asika into Sword of Body and Mind with a tapped Asika. Oh, opponent. Oh, if we ever get a second blue source, by which I mean if the Asika actually survives, Ashiok is going to make the opponent's search for Iskanta very unhappy. Yeah, I kind of wondered if that was going to happen. Well, the cool part about getting Asika memory lapsed is turn 4 Asika does mean we can turn 5 Sword of Body and Mind attack with Asika with the sword equipped, you know, if the opponent doesn't have any interaction. Which we're going to hope is the case. Yeah. If you can, like, export it to Aether Hub or... counterspells. Or, Paste Bin or something. Ethan Rees and Borismon, thanks for the follows. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Don't forget to activate Folio for 0. That is a legal game action, isn't it? Well, this is inconvenient. I could cultivate here, which I guess I can have Ashiok next turn. Cultivate this turn doesn't really let us do anything else. I kind of feel like I'm just playing Karuga to draw no cards, so that I can equip it with Sword of Body in Mind and start milling my opponent out. Maybe I need to get to the point where I'm Ashioking away their graveyard before I Sword of Body in Mind, but it is very amusing that Sword makes this Karuga completely unblockable. Dry a Green Seeker and search for Iskanta, probably not a very good synergy, come to think of it. Okay, so opponent set an upkeep stop. So that, to me, says they have Commit to Memory. Which... they don't seem interested in playing yet. Oh no, it's just Counterspell. Okay. Why did they set an upkeep stop for that then? Well, we're gonna let them have a search for Iskanta and hope that they don't find a white answer to Karuga. They don't appear to have anything yet. Alrighty. Well, opponent, your search for Iskanta is online. You have 17 cards remaining. The millening begins. Okay, Angel of Sanctions is an answer to Karuga. I guess the millening is regretted. Although I can equip the wolf token with it and get the Karuga back. Or they could board wipe. Sure. 3, 6, not... Okay. Settle the Wilds. Interesting timing. I'm gonna go put a land into play and then tutor up a 10-drop, which we just so happen to have. Good times, good times. Opponent, if you want to draw, I'm gonna Folio fancies you. I don't actually even mind if they cast Memory. Midnight Clock is cool. Alright, let's get rid of that Ascanta. Okay, Ulamog definitely counts as a mill win condition, right? It was going to do the last 20 cards. I also wonder what 10-drop they thought we had. Alright, so we've got casting Ulamog crossed off our bucket list. Oh, this is a good hand, but how do we play this out? Almost certainly we're supposed to cultivate on turn 2, but I'm a little sad that that doesn't give us cultivate into Elder Gargaroth. But also, I shouldn't be sad that we just get to do good hand stuff. Back my brain up here, chat. We didn't have anything in the deck that was double red, correct? Actually, is the untapped overlay working for draft? I meant to ask that and never got around to it. I guess I can look right now with Cultivate, can't I? Not double red, not double red, not double red. Sweet. No double red. I guess we drew the island, so I didn't need to go fetch double blue. Dragon Master Outcast. Alright. Well, we've got a lot of lands to make on our way to Ulamog. I guess that's a good start. And we get out to Gargaroth next turn, which is also nice. Sure. You have a Woe Strider, opponent. Oh. They haven't attacked yet. I forgot Gilded Goose was allowed to block, which it should probably do. Alright. We gave the opponent a free point of life. Happy to see it. Luckily for us, there's no way that Black-Red has any access to hard removal that can kill an Elder Gargaroth this early. So our Elder Gargaroth is definitely going to survive. Which is important because we have literally nothing else to do if our Elder Gargaroth were to die. Heartless Act? Oh, I doubt that's in the cube. They wouldn't put black removal spells in the cube. Sweet. Okay. Opponent did not have access to any ways to remove Elder Gargaroth. Somehow, I successfully managed to avoid jinxing that situation into reality. Play Rada first in case the top card of our deck is a land. We can play it before we do anything with our Elder Gargaroth. That is exactly what happens. You love to see it. More lands. So that is, in fact, the 10th land for Ulamog. If we attack with Elder Gargaroth, the opponent will trade Graveyard Trespasser and Woe Strider. Would we prefer to draw a card and be one card deeper, or make a 3/3? I think I would probably prefer to be one card deeper towards actual action. And then I immediately read the buttons wrong and clicked the one that did the thing that I just decided I didn't want to do. So That works too. Is that a punt? That's probably a punt. I think I might have a hard time describing that as not a punt. Luckily, it's a very, very tiny punt, because I think making a 3-3 was also slightly defendable here. It buys us time to get to the Ulamog, which drawing a card technically has a fizzle rate to do. If somehow the top, 12 cards of our deck were all lands, we would be pretty unhappy, but oh well. Having a 3-3 means that our opponent can't attack us if there's a Rada removed in some way. Okay, well... Yep, that's definitely a Mayhem Devil. It's going to ping stuff down when we do Goose stuff. Dragon Master Outcast starts making 5/5s next turn, which is kind of a substantial problem. I sort of want to crack this food token this turn and just gain as much life as possible. And then next turn... Oh, whoopsies for the opponent. They exiled our Cultivate when they had a Direfleet Daredevil in their deck. So regrettably, had we chosen to draw with Elder Gargaroth, we would be playing and pumping Incubation Druid this turn and casting Ulamog next turn. Alas. Okay, so we hold back with Rada, because this does have that ability that lets it block Mayhem Devil, which we would prefer not to use, because it means not making a food with Gilded Goose. Opponent gets to discard some cards and then draw cards with Seasoned Pyromancer. Alas. They are 2 cards in the graveyard away from escaping Woe Strider, which would let them sack their board through with Mayhem Devil. Hey, Arby Crash! Thanks for the resub. I continue to appreciate the support. We are attempting to game. This is true. Call you Crash? If you want, I can do that. Alright, and I don't think we want to crack the food token here. Oh, we would have also gotten the Time Warp. Oh, I would have been so rewarded for drawing a card with that Gargaroth. I can adapt at instant speed. Yes, okay. 4, 8, 9. Okay, so even if my entire board goes away, I can still Ulamog next turn. Any major revelations about the cube? Nothing foundational, no. Other than that it is definitely not vintage cube, and has felt a little more mid-rangey. Some of the more dirtily Spells Matter combo decks looked more viable than I was originally expecting, which probably has more to do with the viability or not of hard aggro. The mono red aggro deck we put together didn't look stellar, but I bet that there were also a lot of really not ideal cards in our mono red aggro deck. Can we cast Ulamog and Time Warp here? No, we are 2 mana short. Yeah, I think that it had a lot of creatures that cared about spells mattering and not enough spells, and that was a really underwhelming place to be. Alright, well, I think we play the Ulamog. The question is what we get rid of. We can attack with Ulamog and Time Warp next turn, which is lethal, so pretty much all I have to do, okay, is not die. I wasn't certain what the best things to remove to not die were going to be, but it seemed, yeah, like probably not dying was going to be accomplishable there. On the draw, Explore, Time Warp, Escape to the Wilds. Wow, this looks like constructed decks I've played, other than the Dryad Greenseeker. I think this could literally be constructed decks that I have played. I am a partner on Twitch, yes. So, first 25 subscribers, I think it is? Something like that. This is cool. We get to explore on turn 2 and then play Rada without having made our land drop on turn 3. So hopefully we hit a land off the top that way. Let me have my explore, opponent. Rude! Well, we get to explore into Greenseeker on turn 3, so that's still... You might have to enable the partner, or you might have to enable the founder badge manually? I don't know. Never actually looked into that. Try a Greenseeker, not a combo with Rada, come to think of it. You need to have 2 lands in a row on top of your deck for that to work out. Oh no, the opponent's also ramping! It's kind of a combo if there's 2. It's just not the most likely to be a combo in the world. Alright, well, I guess Tangle Florahedron is a land drop. What's the right way to play this? Rada is kind of sad if I miss the land drop. I guess it's still fine. Is there any reason to activate Dryad Greenseeker rather than Rada? I guess if I still had Tangled Florahedron in my deck, that'd be a reason to activate Dryad Greenseeker first. Wait, if I activate Dryad Greenseeker, then I can play Tangled Florahedron as a land? Do I want to do that? Oh, if I activate Dryad Greenseeker and there's a basic on top, then I could play the basic and play Tangled Florahedron? I think that's a reason to do it this way. But no, it is Karuga. That's an interesting question. I wonder if there's anything that I'm missing there. Ooh. Alright, opponent's Soul Herder deck has found its copy of Soul Herder. Oh, they went hard into Blink. Dang. Okay. Opponent is about to start ramping a lot. Luckily for us, our life total's still pretty healthy, and Escape to the Wilds and Time Warp gives us a lot to fight this. This doesn't really work. Well, I guess it kind of works. Not 1,000,000% ideal the way they would want it to, but it pumps the Soul Herder, which is the important thing for them, I suspect. Do I want to... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to play this land first before playing Escape to the Wilds. My Ulamog. I don't know that I'm going to be able to cast that next turn, so that's kind of disappointing. 4, 8, 9. Only 9! Oh no. Missed a free Rada swing. Free? It doesn't have vigilance. Or did you mean I could have attacked last turn into the Solemn Simulacrum and the Skittering Surveyor? I didn't want to give him the card draw with the Solemn Simulacrum. Oh, if I attack with 6 mana up and they block with Soul Herder, I'd be really unhappy, though. Alright, so with 9 mana, we're not going to be able to Ulamog next turn, but we do get to Time Warp and then Timeless Witness back the Time Warp. And that bit's cool. So I'm going to need my opponent to not interact with me at all, ideally. Cultivate is not interaction. That's a good start. Opponent attacks with Soul Herder. Maybe not. Doesn't want to attack with Soul Herder? Doesn't attack with Soul Herder. Okay. Scry's 2. Okay. They got a lot of mana up, though, so that one unknown card could be a counterspell and we'd be very sad. I suppose not the saddest, because we'd still get to Timeless Witness back the Time Warp anyway. Oh, okay. Time Warp resolves. Get back our Time Warp. No attacks. Bye-bye cards. Unfortunate. Play Rootbound Crag off the top. Cast another Time Warp. Play this Elder Gargaroth, I guess. Seems like that's probably good. Attack with Timeless Witness. I doubt the opponent wants to remove it. They do not, in fact, want to remove Timeless Witness. I suppose that's the weakness of the whole Timeless Witness Time Warp game plan. Do I want to draw one more card with Karuga? 4 instead of 3? No, I want to have the mana up, I think. Oh, hey, cool, Folio Fancies. Sword of Body and Mind was 1 deeper. I guess they have a lot of chump blockers, though, so it doesn't mean too much as it stands. Alright, combat, swing with these folks. Make more attackers, probably. I got enough cards, and I got enough life. We got 13 cards in library. Glad they didn't block Rada with the Soul Herder, because I totally clicked through damage and forgot to double check if I needed to activate Rada. And yeah, let's play Tendershoot Dryad. Why not? Oh, do you? Oh, Saprolings get pumped and not plants. Bummer. No, I didn't want to Rishkar on Gargaroth. Not that turn, because I wanted to play Tendershoot Dryad. Ooh, Muldrifter. Okay, opponent's drawing cards. Well, they kind of need a board wipe, and even if they find one, that puts Timeless Witness in our graveyard. I'm going to count that as casting 3 Time Warps in Spirit. Because the only reason we didn't cast 3 Time Warps is because our opponent was unwilling to kill our creature, and frankly, that's not our fault. Ooh, alright. We have Acceleration and a half. keep. If anything, the problem here is going to be that I don't have a ton of stuff that's super effective to play with this Rish. Never mind, I have Helena. Helena definitely seems like a very good thing to play next turn. I could have played Rada this turn, but that just doesn't seem like the right move. Sword of Body and Mind for the opponent. Very well. Oh, you know what has synergy with Helena and Helena? I hear Incubation Druid is pretty good if you put counters on it. So this seems like a really fun next turn we're setting up. Can you put counters anywhere? We can. So I can definitely make Incubation Druid into a 4/4 and then draw 4 cards and put Tendershoe Dryad into play. Is that good? I do actually have to race this Sword of Body and Mind, though, because nothing I have can block it. And it's going to kill me in probably 2 attacks. So maybe I'm supposed to play creatures to attack instead? There's actually a very real chance I lose this despite having 7 mana here. Could just play Tendershoe Dryad. Pump it. No, I don't think that's good enough. I think I gotta take this one turn to put a bunch of stuff into play. Does Tendershoe Dryad go harder than Gargaroth? I don't think so. I guess it kind of does, actually. Because we can play Gargaroth next turn and give it haste with Helena and Helena, and because it has trample, that's probably the best thing I can give haste to. Whereas Tendershoe Dryad's stats are more spread out. Although I guess, come to think of it, they could mill Timeless Witness, which might give us a Time Walk. I don't think we're going to have enough mana to do that, though, in the 1-turn window we've got. Death Touch is a problem. No, we're probably going to lose because our opponent played Sword of Body and Mind, I think. I don't think I'm supposed to attack with Tendershoe Dryad. Getting blocked by a 3/2 is just a pretty bad deal. Oh! If they do mill our Eternalized creature, it comes back as a mono-black creature that can block. Mono-block creature. So that actually is a possible out to consider. I think we want to make threats. It is only 1 block, but only 1 block might be all we need. Alright. Oh, Lurus is a problem. Oh, that's so much lifelink. Okay, so opponent has 2 blocks, 3 blocks, going to 11. I can deal 8, 10. I think I have lethal here. It's going to be really close, though. They do not mill. Oh, are we 1 mana short of that? Are we 1 mana short of the Ulamog? And we didn't mill the Witness. Okay, so opponent goes to 11, has 3 blocks. Blocks Rada, Incubation Druid, and a 3/3, takes 9, 13. Is that good enough? Do I have any alternatives? I don't think I have any alternatives. Well, that's 2 cards, huh? Oh, I could have also drawn the Eternal Witness naturally to cast the Time Warp. I'm just gonna hope this is good enough. No, this doesn't have haste! Wait, did I do my math wrong? I don't know, I don't have time to think about it. One block, 2 block, 3 block. They go to 1. Oh, 1 mana short, 1 card short. We needed the Witness to not be in the bottom 3 cards of the deck, I think, was the way to win that. Brutal. Was there a way to win that turn if we had milled the Witness? Because I don't think we would have had enough mana to... Yeah, we definitely wouldn't have had enough mana to cast the Witness and do anything other than a 2-drop. So would it have been just play the Witness and use it to block and hope they didn't have a removal spell? I think that would probably have been the only line if we had milled it. Probably has to be a mulligan. Like, we could technically play a turn 3 Ashiok, but that isn't actually good. This hand is considerably worse than the previous hand, but it's got a sort of body in mind, so we're going to try to top deck something. I'm sure it'll go fine. No possible way this could go poorly. Alright, Rishkar's a start. Now we should top deck our 2-drop creature that makes 3 mana if it has a +1/+1 counter on it, and then we'll be really happy. No, it's a Karuga. Unfortunate. This might not line up super well against green, or, well, I guess Abzan aggro is what our opponent's on. That seems ambitious, but okay. Tangle Florahedron, you're a little late, friend. Let's play the Rishkar. It does block pretty well, up until our opponent starts putting counters on their stuff. Okay, well, they didn't have an answer for the Rishkar. If that's how it's going to be, then I think I want to play a Gargaroth. If they can't answer the Rishkar, the Gargaroths, and what's the name of the destroy target? Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. What's the 2-mana instant that gives indestructible or destroys a big creature? Valorous Stance, that's the other one. I want to play Sword of Body and Mind before I play Karuga. But I'm 1 mana short of playing Body and Mind without letting them draw a card here, which kind of sucks. So I think we're just playing Karuga then. More lands. Okay. Alright, well, how do you feel about me having 2 things that can block opponent? You have a lot of cards in hand, so I imagine there's something that you can do about it? Boring collects kind of counts as having something to do. Oh, and Sword of Body and Mind is not good against Giant Killer. I would quantify us as currently in trouble. I can settle the wilds and get a 6-drop or a 7-drop. Do we have either of those things in our deck? Let's take a look. We have a 6-drop, no 7-drop. I see. If I tap all of my stuff down, the opponent puts me to 3. Is that bad? Probably bad. I could just let them draw a card, I guess. Alright, opponent, you get to draw a card. I'm sure there's no way their deck that's entirely about counters will wind up finding a counter next turn. But if they do manage to put counters on their creatures, they're going to have about 40 counters. Kind of getting single-handedly destroyed by Giant Killer here, huh? If it wasn't for that, I could just play Sword of Body and Mind and be totally happy. That's also exactly lethal. Alright, well, I guess my opponent didn't have any +1/+1 counters in their deck after all. I don't know where I got that idea from. Alright, well, this is a turn 3 Helena and Elena, so I guess I'm probably supposed to keep. Provided my opponent is kind enough to not, like, remove my Tangled Florahedron or anything. Oh yes, I definitely want Gargaroth if my opponent is playing burn spells. Young Pyromancer indicates probably playing burn spells. Was nice while we knew ye, Tangled Florahedron. Although, I suppose I have Cultivate into Elder Gargaroth if they do wind up killing my Florahedrons, so I can live with that. If my opponent attacks with the Young Pyromancer here without doing anything, I wonder if I was supposed to block, but they don't give me that option. So we don't gots to consider it. We are definitely going for the Cultivate Elder Gargaroth line. I probably care about getting a double red, because there's a possibility that at some point in the future I end up playing Helena and Rada on the same turn. Not super likely, but technically possible. I don't think I need triple blue for any reason, so I'll go with 3 green instead. Will I be playing any traditional draft tonight? Traditional draft of this? Probably not. I don't think that there's a very significant difference between best of 3 and best of 1 in draft, to be honest. Is this deck reasonable? Our deck? I think our deck this time around is actually pretty reasonable green mid-range with scaling top end. Our mana base isn't even that bad. Oh, it's a pretty fun, reasonable deck. We won 2 games with Ulamog, and 1 game by casting 3 copies of Time Warp, essentially. So, like, that's still a pretty good reasonable. Oh. It only costs that much to bounce with multiple choice? Wait, why did they not pay more with multiple choice when they have a Smoldering Egg in play? What am I supposed to feel about that? Because I definitely feel like I'm supposed to feel something. Haste until end of turn. So I couldn't activate Dryad Greenseeker on their turn if I played Alana and Greenseeker, huh? Oh, they have to pay exactly X equals 4 or more to do the bounce. I see. That's interesting. I hadn't considered that. That's good to point out, because I would have not done that correctly. Okay. You have more burn spells. More burn spells the opponent has. Always more burn spells. Well, but now I kind of just die to an Ashmouth Dragon, don't I? Yep. Alright, well I guess I couldn't win this. Wild. It's like the 3rd time tonight I've gotten beat down by just Young Pyromancer plus spells. Is that a legitimate archetype? I guess it's maximum tempo. Huh. I guess if they put enough removal instants and sorceries in, then that works. So Helena can block the Ashmouth, Dryad can block the Pyromancer, and I still die? I guess... No, I don't have the ability to play Time Warp this turn, and I don't have any board wipes? Yeah, no. Okay. Alright. Young Pyromancer into kill you.